Hello traders, welcome back to my channel, man. This is Janoy with Trading the Charts Pro, and we are back with one more session, guys, of Market Outlook. Market Outlook, this is where we, look at the overall market, typically the ES futures, and we use technical analysis as well as our experience to make some form of projection as to where we think the market can go based on what it has done for the past week, as well as what it has been doing, for the last month and a half. So guys, I want to say this is a unprecedented time to be in this market. Guys, I tell you, this market is throwing sticks, stones, hammers, saw, is throwing everything at you. So guys, if you don't know how to read the chart, I'm telling you, man, it is impossible to make money in this market. Only if you don't know how to read the charts. But for some people, it's a great time to be in the market because what? They learn how to read the charts. And when you learn how to read the charts, the world is your oyster. So in this session, I'm going to break down how I read the charts and how you can learn to read the charts for yourself so that you can get to see how price action move and how you can project where the market is going to go and where you can find short-term opportunity to make some money. All right, so let's jump into the charts, guys. But before I do the quick analysis of what the market is going to do next, I would be remiss if I didn't talk about what happened, in this week. And guys, what happened? The president is on, his Twitter fingers again. And what do you know? The market is running wild every time something comes out. All right. So what do you do with that? Well, this is where it comes down to you reading the charts and try to find some opportunity in that, even though the market is not necessarily moving in a way that even make any sense, but it doesn't matter. What matters is what the price action is telling us and how we're going to find the opportunity. Now, personally, for this week, the market has been extremely crazy, which I said in the previous outlook that I am going to be scaling back a little bit because the volatility is too wild. We're in a season where everything is just, there's no clarity. When there's no clarity, the market does not like not knowing what's gonna happen next, or the outlook is very murky. So for that reason, I've been doing a lot more swing trading lately because 1 minute this market is down 50 points, then before you know it, it's up another 50 points. All right, so let's talk a little bit about what happened this week and what we could have did with all of this craziness. All right, guys, so back here when the month just started, I think today is the 9th, the market found support and we were running up nicely. Let me change this color so that you can see very, very clear. So we were running up very, very nicely, guys. We run up, break above the resistance right here, and we broke above it, held that as a support. And when you look at this bigger picture, what happened is, the market just really run up into a very, very big flag pattern. All right. So after we run into this flag pattern right here, guys, what happened? The market break out to the upside. All right. After we break out to the upside, the president tweeted, hey, he no longer want to be talking about any stimulus until after he wins the election. What? That doesn't even make any sense. He don't know if he's gonna win the election yet, so why would you send a tweet like that? Anyway, the market sold off, right? So the market sold off, but what happened, guys, which I was not feeling confident in this, because this was really the low support level, and then the market actually made a higher low right here. I was not convinced about that. So when I see, you know, this slice down, God, I took a quick chart inside here, and then, you know, I was done with that. And what do you know? I saw the market started to recover. And if you know anything about price action, typically when we have a huge drop like this and then price recover, normally price builds a bear flag. Okay, when we get this bear flag, next thing we're actually looking for is for this support that was holding while we're going up. We're looking for that to get broken, boom, and then we get a second leg down to the downside. Guys, look at this. You cannot tell me that you knew that this market was gonna recover in a V like this. Come on, man. I've been trading for a minute and I've never seen where this market drops and just recovers non-stop. I feel like this is a ladder going up a building, but only this ladder is just set up straight like this. This is how I felt when this market was climbing higher. So what do you know? Guys, I said it out. Whenever price is doing something that you don't recognize, you don't feel comfortable about that, you sit it out. It's completely fine. I want you to know that not having a position is also a position, and sometimes that is the best position to have. So as far as futures goes for this week, guys, I came in, took one or two quick scalps, but my position was no position because this market is just hands down, you know, I don't even know the word to explain it, but it's just moving in a way that makes no sense as far as the rules go. As far as the rules that price supposed to be abiding by, like when it fell right here and then, you know, it started recover and just went straight back up in a V, that typically don't happen a lot. Also, what happened about when we broke out of this bull flag and we were supposed to go higher? Yes, when we got to the 418 level, that was actually a old resistance on the bigger time frame. So I do understand, yeah, you know, how we sell off right at that level. But what's ironical is how, you know, as we got to that level, the tweet came out and boom, we sold off. Guys, I don't know what's going on, and for that reason I have been playing it safe. Okay, now we got the big picture up here. Let's start big picture. I still want to break down this chart and talk about, you know, everything that I did mention in the previous market outlook. All right, so in the previous market outlook, guys, what did I say we're looking at? Well, I said we got this breakdown, our bear flag down here. We came down, had the support. So this was just a retracement of this move right here, which actually is, you know, in the 50 to 61% retracement zone. That's why price actually came and find support right here, as well as if I extrapolate this line across, you can see that we had a consolidation zone right here before we move higher. So that's why price kind of came down, held that support right there. So after we got this side down and we bounced right here, started to move higher, I said, guys, we are looking at a inverse head and shoulders pattern. How do I know? Because I look for these every day. These are some of the patterns that I trade. These are some of the patterns that I put out in my trade alert groups. What is my trade alert groups? This is a group that if you don't know how to pick stocks, I pick stocks for you that I am trading myself. I send an alert, you look at it. If you like it, you take a trade. I also teach you how to manage the risk. If you want to learn more about that, you know, just visit my community on Facebook, Trading the Charts Pro community. Now it gets back to the chart. So now we have the inverse head and shoulders building up. When we got to this level, we sold off. But I said that as long as we don't break this shoulder right here, the head and shoulders, inverse head and shoulders pattern is still at play. Why? Because on this side, we still have the shoulder on here, and as long as we are able to hold this level, price will continue to move up to the upside. All right, now let me clean it up a little bit more. So we start to move back to the upside. In the group, I pointed out that if we're able to break this level, that was, the resistance for the bear flag when we were coming down. When we get back to this level, if we're able to break above that level, we can push higher. Okay, so that was my outlook for last week. Now look at this. This is where it gets technical, and this is where you start to layer everything you know about price action to get a clear projection of where things can potentially go. All right, so now that the head and shoulders, inverse head and shoulders, it hasn't fully completed yet, but it is almost there. So now we start to think, all right, the inverse head and shoulders is playing out. What else can possibly happen right here? Well, two things can happen. One, the inverse head and shoulders pattern can come all the way back up and hit the resistance up here. In that case, we'd have a double top. Guys, for some reason, I don't know, if we do get this stimulus package, we are coming right back up to this level. Hopefully that's before the election. Now, if this happens before the election, my guess is that we're going to hit this resistance and we're going to start come back down somewhere down here until we know the outcome of the election. That's scenario number one. Scenario number two, this is wild. Scenario number two is that this move, even though it's a inverse head and shoulders pattern, only retrace to the 50 to the 61% zone. What do you mean the 60 to 50% zone? Well, now we look at this move that we had to the downside, and then we say, well, the inverse head and shoulders retrace 60% of that. And if Nancy Pelosi and the president and, Mr. Munchkin does not agree on a stimulus package before Congress go on break, guys, we're going to have this market immediately start pulling back down from this level. So the entire big picture would be one leg down, one leg up, and then we start to get another leg down before we get some form of stimulus. So what's the outlook for this week? Guys, you just got it. You just got it. It's so simple. If we get a stimulus package, which, I think they want to do one. If we do get one, we are going to come back up, hit a potential double top. I don't see this market going higher than this previous level, no matter what. Not right here, not right now, not with the election on the line, not with so much uncertainty, not with the potential of COVID-19 virus erupting again. I do not see this market making new highs. But if it does, hey, I'll be swing trading it to the moon, okay? But as of now, I am cautious at the 61% retracement zone, which is right here. Let me put it in another color so it's clear. So if price gets back to this level, that's where my cautious mode is kicking in. Well, it's actually in a little bit already, but this is where I'm going to be super, super cautious. If we're able to break above that level because the stimulus package has been signed and now the market is extremely happy, then we come back up and we test the all-time high before we start pulling back as we get into this election and into a new presidency potentially. All right, so that's my outlook for this week, guys. One thing I want to say to you is that when you're able to trade price action, guys, you can actually apply this knowledge across every market. Okay, any market it is, you can apply price action trading to those markets. So one thing that I personally do is that whenever futures is not, moving in the best way, or in the way that I like it to move, because high volatility, or not just high volatility is good, but when the market is just choppy, it's up, it's down, we're getting long wicks to the upside, long wicks to the downside, I typically want to stay out of that, because it's kind of hard to win when you are, trading against that kind of crazy, volatility there. I'm telling you, it doesn't matter how good you are, it does seem like you still are making wrong decisions, even though you're right. But because the swings are so wide and just so random because of the news, you can get chopped up. Typically, in a situation like that, what I like to do is move on over to swing trading stocks, because right now, this very same inverse head and shoulders pattern that we're seeing right here, it's showing itself in a number of stocks over there in the stock market. So, we just take a position in the ones that look good, the ones that are bullish, and we swing those, and we made just the same amount of money, if not more, that we would make right here on futures. So, it's good to have multiple tools in your toolkit so that you can go across all markets and, apply that knowledge so you can have more money, more bags. This is just straight up. So guys, if you do like this video, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, turn on your notification bell, and if you have any feedback, put it down there in the comments, and I'll be down there chatting it out with you guys. If you don't agree with anything that I said in the video, I'll put it down there in the comments and let's just talk about it. If you want to follow me, or you want to see my daily analysis on where I think the market is going to go each day, you can actually come on over there to my community, Trading the Charts Pro community on Facebook, and let's grow together. All right, trade safe, never risk too much, and I look forward to see you guys in the next Trader Stock.